It's freezing in New York right now, so I got my giant turtleneck on for the day. Welcome, film creeps. Today I'm gonna go with a little bit more of an unscripted, just opinion video. I'm gonna be doing a ranking today of all the childhood scary movies that I watched as a kid. I would say horror, but you know, they're not that scary. Well, even when I was a little kid, I never thought that certain movies that other kids were terrified of would scare the shit out of me. But of course there were others that I really should have been watching as a kid, but shout out to my dad and my stepmom for showing me horror movies I should have not been watching as a child. Really redefined who I would come to be. Okay, so this is the tier list. I'm gonna go over the rankings. Boobastic is a word I said by accident when I was describing Cold Stone's Halloween trick-or-treat themed ice cream, and now it's a cursed inside joke between me and my best friend, who you may actually see in a later video. Keep that in mind. Spooktacular. Spooktacular is just not as good as Boobastic, but it's still pretty great. It's a classic, it's a banger, but it is not Boobastic. Spirit Halloween merch. I love Spirit Halloween. Spirit Halloween's great. But there are certain movies that are just Spirit Halloween quality level type of clothing and jewelry. It's a good movie. It's good. It ranges from good to fine. Now, Bedsheet Ghost costume is kind of forgettable. Kind of like, it was okay, but it's not really great. And then we have picture of a "this is my costume" button. Wow, you're so funny if you wear those to parties. I literally love your creativity. It's not like anybody has done it before. And finally, we have a bonus, and that scared the shit out of me, and I couldn't sleep for weeks. Because there are some movies, even kids ones actually, that I should have not been watching, as I said before. Now, for the movies we first got, Friday the 13th, we have Paranorman, we have The Ring. You can already see my origin story from this alone. The Others, Coraline. We have Scary Godmother, Beetlejuice, It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, Monster House, Edward Scissorhands, Ghostbusters, Halloween, Corpse Bride, The Sixth Sense, The Addams Family, Halloween Town, Gremlins, The Shining, Hocus Pocus, Frankenweenie, Scooby-Doo, The Witch's Ghost, and Nightmare Before Christmas. Now let's get started. Alright, so Friday the 13th, she's boobastic. I freaking love Friday the 13th. I'll give it credit where credit's due. The first movie's good. I liked it a lot. But it's boobastic because of how stupid the whole series got. I love binge watching Friday the 13th movies with my boyfriend. It is such stupid entertainment. It's the best. I love it. She's boobastic. Oh my god, I almost forgot. So funny story with Friday the 13th. There was one night that my brother, at the time he was 3 years old, was watching it with my parents. And they went outside to go smoke for a second, but they left my little brother Matt to watch the movie alone. Once they come back, they realize, oh crap, we left the fucking toddler with a horror movie. But all Matt does is get on my dad's lap and goes, "Jason, Jason, Jason. Killer, killer, killer. Jason, Jason, Jason. Killer, killer, killer." And that scared the crap out of my dad. It's great. It's one of the things we quote all the time. Paranorman is spooktacular. Like, it's not boobastic because it doesn't have that zest to it, but I love the story. I love the history that they use with the Salem witch trials. It's a fun kids movie, and it's pretty progressive too, if you ask me. The Ring, as a child, I was fucking terrified of. Absolutely could not watch The Ring. However, it's pretty good. It's not great. Like, watching it now, it's just like, scary, she crawls out of the television. Ah! My dad was freaking terrified of some more from The Ring. Absolutely horrified. He was more scared of the horror movies that we watched when we were kids than me and my brothers were. The Others. The Others, I don't think really anybody talks about. It's a PG-13 horror film. I really liked it as a kid. I haven't seen it in years, so I'm gonna put it in Bedsheet Ghost. I used to be really obsessed with it, but no one really talks about it, and I kind of forgot about it until I was making this video, so She's gonna go there. And now we have Coraline. Fucking boo-bastic. You cannot tell me that Coraline is a bad movie. I don't know anybody who doesn't like it unless they're scared of it, which I get. I was never scared of it. I love the movie. It's so beautiful and creative and spontaneous. I was obsessed with Coraline for years. I wrote fan fiction about Coraline. The younger days. Fun fact that literally my boyfriend and everybody else I know that makes fun of me for. There's one part of Coraline, and I'll put it on the screen, that scared the shit out of me. Not the other mother turning into a spider, not any of that weird contortion sorts of bullshit, not the bugs, not anything. It's right at the ending where the cat walks and disappears into the Pink Palace sign. I shit my pants whenever I fucking see that. I don't know why, it creeps me out. It brings chills down my spine to this day. But I can watch anything else in that film and be like, okay, not scary, it's a banger. Next we got Scary Godmother. I can't decide where to put Scary Godmother because I love it. I grew up, it was one of the first horror movies that I watched as a kid. It was one of the movies that got me to really love Halloween and everything spooky. I used to pretend that I was in the universe whenever I have a distinct memory of me standing on my bed watching it on my little Tykes television and just reenacting everything from those movies. Both of them. I loved both of the movies, but for the sake of this, we're gonna stick to the one. I'm gonna put her in Spooktacular. It's still great. It's still a lot of fun. However, the animation was very, very dated. And it's hard to watch sometimes, but overall, it's Spooktacular. This close to being boobastic. Beetlegoose. I love Beetlegoose. Beetlegoose, I'll stop calling it Beetlegoose. Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice is boobastic. Beetlejuice inspired my whole look. Lydia was the blueprint for me. I love that girl. I love the whole movie. It's such a good time. It is so fun. It is scary at some points because it's kind of pedophilic that Beetlejuice is trying to, you know, marry Lydia. But they're aware of that and it's a fun time. Also, the musical was great. I got to sit second row right in the front and that was such an amazing experience. And even though the musical is different from the movie in certain ways, I like to say that they are both boobastic in their own rights. It's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. I feel like it fits there. I'm sorry. Like, I loved It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. It's a great it's a good Halloween movie to show your kids. It's also one of the first Halloween movies that I saw as a kid that really got me into Halloween. However, it's kind of boring and depressing, especially with Charlie Brown because no one likes him and I just feel like it really fits in that category. So, yay! Monster House. Is there a question? Is there a question? Is there even a question? If you have not seen Monster House, where have you been? Where have you been? Monster House is such a good movie. It's on Netflix. Go watch it right now if you have Netflix. I love Monster House. Every time it came on the television, I would literally force my mother to turn off whatever she was watching and I'd sit down and just love everything about it. Beautiful story, it's tragic, it's amazing. That punk babysitter was my bisexual awakening. I loved everything about it. I loved everything about it. The characters are great. It's so funny, it's amazing. Boobastic. Boobastic. Edward Scissorhands. That was another movie I was obsessed with. Edward Scissorhands will go to I can't decide. I put Edward Scissorhands in Spooktacular because although it has like little, just kind of falls flat in some areas, I feel like It's so creative and it gets so much influence from the Batcave era of goth culture. It's great. I appreciate it. You just gotta appreciate the art sometimes. Even if movies aren't inherently like great, you have to always put into consideration the dedication and effort that's put into it. And it's such a creative movie, so yes, it goes in Spooktacular. Ghostbusters. I put Ghostbusters in Boobastic because it has such a connection to me as a youth. My family and I, this was one of the movies that we'd constantly watch with each other. It was a great time and I still love it to this day. I feel like it never gets old. It's so funny. Even as a kid, if I didn't get any of the jokes, I still was entertained with it. I loved Ghostbusters. I used to be really scared of Halloween. I'm not gonna lie. There was a really messed up thing that my stepmom told us when we were younger, that Michael Myers was based off of a real serial killer that was out till this day and he could not die. And of course, 8-year-old me was like, oh no. But yeah, now that I watch it, it's like either I laugh at it because of how cheesy it can be, or I fall asleep. I gotta respect it. I really do. You know what? Spirit Halloween merch. It's a classic. It's very art house-ish. It's very associated with atmospheric music and just all that jazz. Like, I'm not trying to diss her. I'm really not. So I put her here. Corpse Bride, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Forgettable. Like, it's okay. It's fine. Like, I remember one song from it. It's good when you watch it, but then right after you don't remember anything. At least for me. It's just not me. It's just not for me. The Sixth Sense. Boobastic. I don't think I was able to appreciate this movie when I could as a kid. But now that I'm older, even then I liked it, but now that I'm older and I watched it again, it's a beautiful movie. It really is. It's a beautiful movie with a sick twist at the end that I really appreciate. The Addams Family. I want to be Morticia Addams. I want my family to be similar to them. Not fully, but similar to the Addams Family. Because they love each other so much in their own strange way. It's great. I love the costumes. I love the characters. It's a boobastic time. Halloween Town. Fucking love Halloween Town. Halloween Town is a part of my youth. I wanted to be Marnie. For the longest time I wanted to name one of my kids Marnie after the main character someday. Because I really love everything about Halloween Town. Gremlins. Finally we're gonna use the bottom tier. Call me crazy. But I cannot watch Gremlins. I don't know why. I have this weird memory in my head that I think I made up where there's this one scene where a fucking gremlin attacks this guy in like a laboratory or something, and then you see the guy under a table and he has like a needle in his neck. Something like that. That could be from any other movie, but it freaks me out to this day. And The Shining. Boobastic. Boobastic. Truly boobastic. Got me to love movies entirely. Everything about the whole art form. Beautiful. I love Stanley Kubrick movies now because of it. It's my first Stanley Kubrick movie. It doesn't disappoint. It will never disappoint. And I really appreciate for that. For what it's brought me to want to start my career in this and my interest for it, and how beautifully breathtaking and haunting the film still is to this day. I'm sorry. My friends are gonna fucking hate me for this. One of the main reasons why I did it is because Hocus Pocus is like a big thing at Spirit Halloween every year for their merch. But yeah, Hocus Pocus, like, I love parts of it a lot, but other parts I'm just like, what happened? I forgot. Moving on. Frankenweenie. Bedsheet Ghost. It's just, cute dog died. That's just how I see it. Nothing really special about it. You know what? I'm sorry if you like Frankenweenie, by the way, but it's just not that great. It's not It's not one of Laika's and Tim Burton's best films, so there is no doubt about it. The Witch's Ghost is boobastic. I love everything about The Witch's Ghost. My best friend and I are obsessed with the Hex Girls. Jessica, you already know it. You see, I would have done a bunch of other Scooby-Doo movies, but this one was the redefining of my childhood. I love it so much. And the Hex Girls. The Hex Girls. I fucking love the Hex Girls. Finally, we have Nightmare Before Christmas. Oh, somewhere deep inside of these predictable. I love this movie so much. The music's beautiful. The character designs are gorgeous. Stop motion is such an underappreciated genre. Yeah. No, Nightmare Before Christmas, absolutely boobastic. It's a classic, and I have the whole fucking soundtrack on vinyl. Alright, well that's my ranking list. Let me know how you feel about it. Let me know if you hate me for putting Hocus Pocus in the mediocre genre. I am putting mediocre, it's more in like a good. It's good. It's not great, it's good. Let me know if you hate me for doing Corpse Bride dirty or not. Let me know if you hate me for putting Nightmare Before Christmas at the top of the list because I'm basic and boring. Yeah, but this is my list. I hope you all had a horror show. Take care and stay safe, everyone. Bye!